Monday, August 14th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So this is an early market update from London. It's 10 to 9 a.m. Stock markets are buoyant this morning. Mainly, what we hear from the headlines is that the tensions supposedly with North Korea have subsided, and the markets like it. So I'm not too sure. Mainstream media, commentators, mainstream economists, always trying to find a reason for moves in the markets, and they use the most easy, excuses. And in this case, it's been Korea, and the tensions there, fears of nuclear war. But I'm not too sure about that. Markets go where they're supposed to go. But anyway, right now as I speak, the Dow future is up 116 points, or 0.5%, at 21,975. So just below 22,000. S&P 500 is up almost 15 points, or almost 0.2% at 2455. And the main headlines or economic news overnight has been Japanese GDP data for the second quarter. That number was expected at 2.5% annualized, and it came out at 4%. So a lot stronger than expected, Japanese GDP. Quarter on quarter, it went up 1%. It was expected 0.6. I haven't read into this data in Japan, but normally you'd think, stronger than expected Japanese numbers. You'd expect the yen to strengthen and the dollar to go down. But we've had the exact opposite. The dollar yen is actually up 0.5%. Yeah, the US dollar is up, even though Japanese GDP is higher than expected. You go figure, I wonder if the BOJ made some phone calls after that number came off. I used to work, in the city and in the dealing room, and sometimes you see, and we have what's called direct lines in dealing rooms, where clients just pick up the line, they're right, the open line to you. And sometimes they leave the line open and they speak through a microphone, or sometimes they don't like that, or they just ring and you can see, the name maybe BOJ. And all the Bank of Japan needs to do after a number like this is call all the big Japanese banks who deal in foreign exchange, and they might not even give them an order, to buy the dollar against the yen. They might just ring, and then people see that, oh, Bank of Japan's on the line. So they start, it's like a signal, they start buying the dollar yen. So that's driven gold down, of course. We are at 1282.80, down 6. The low has been 1281.82, the high 1290. So it looks like they're fighting again technical levels here, the 1295 specifically. We already have a double top on that earlier this year. Maybe they're trying to do the same, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to contain the fundamental picture for gold and the technical picture for gold. And I would expect the dollar to return lower against the yen. And as you know, and I've spoken before in videos, that dollar yen for some reason is the driver for gold. When the dollar goes up against the yen, gold comes down, and vice versa. So this is what we're seeing this morning. Of course, there are headlines, like on investing.com, where I look at the data that come out. One of their headlines is that gold has lost some ground because of the tensions have subsided with North Korea. So, but in my view, it's more because the dollar strengthened against the yen because, well, not too sure why. We should actually see the dollar dropping against the yen with such strong economic data from Japan. But as I said, markets are always tricky. What else is going on? Yeah, Bitcoin traded at over $4,000. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is still doing quite well. Well, very well. I think we will probably, there's talk of, cliff high, and a lot of people looking for 13,800, which seems a very specific number. I don't think we're going to go straight there. We could drop back quite severely. Bitcoin is probably overbought right now, technically, and things never go up in a straight line. I still think it's purely speculative Bitcoin, so I would be very careful, and I wouldn't put all my, eggs in one basket, so to speak. Silver is actually doing fairly well compared to gold. We were only down 3 cents at 1708, while down 0.18%, and while gold is down almost 0.5% this morning. Cable or sterling is basically unchanged, down just a smidge, down 6 pips at 130.02. The euro is a little weaker against the dollar, but only 0.1% at 118.09. So what's driving gold and precious metals? Well, gold specifically really is the dollar yen. So what else is there in terms of headlines? Yeah, the main thing this morning I would say is this Japanese number. And there's also a story on Zero Hedge saying U.S. launches quiet crackdown on cryptocurrencies. So it says, while all eyes were distracted with Trump demeaning headlines of the foreign sanctions bill, few spotted the hidden mandate that foreign governments monitor cryptocurrency circulations as a measure to combat illicit finance trades, and that's in quotes, in an effort to combat terrorism. So that's the story. I'll put the link below in the description. It's an interesting story come out of Zero Hedge this morning on cryptocurrencies. And of course, this came out earlier during the weekend that Trump has warned the Chinese President Xi Jinping of a trade war, that a trade war could start on Monday today. That he's going to look into, Chinese trade practices. So we'll have to see about that. And that's about it, really. A bit disappointing that gold starting on a weak note, but not surprising. The London banks are in, the BIS is in Zurich, so I'm sure there's a little bit of manipulation going on there. Whether they'll be able to keep gold down, I made a video this weekend. The technicals look very good in gold, not only in dollars, but all, different kinds of currencies. We have clearly broken out of that long-term trend line from the high in 2011. So this is just a little a counter trend drop or correction in an upward trend. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And if you like to make a donation or, sign up to Patreon, I'm on Patreon as well. There's some links below in the description. I'll talk to you later. Bye.